Jamie Loftus in I Lost My Virginity on August 15th, 2010. Give it up.
Caitlin is always saying like, oh, everyone has HPV, which is, one, not true. Sounds like something someone with HPV would say. How are you guys? Welcome. I think I roasted my closest friend well enough. My name is Jamie Loftus. I lost my virginity on August 15, 2010. I wanted to just thank everybody before we get started for coming to participate, and just I wanted to like clear the air at the top, let you know that if you are under the impression that this is some sort of like self-masturbatory thing to get people to look at me for an hour, that is not true. This is a science experiment. This is you are participating right now in a science experiment. Does everybody have their guidebook with them to participate in the science experiment? Okay, lots of rustling. I'm getting the feeling that the answer is yes, and also I provided them. So, you're participating in a science experiment tonight, and I'll sort of walk you through what's going to happen. So I lost my virginity on August 15th, 2010. That's just a fact, right? But I learned recently that memories can be altered. This is a memory I visit all the time. And I learned that there were studies in that every time you revisit a memory, it gets a little bit less reliable. So by that logic, if you revisit the same memory enough times, you can make it so that something basically never happened. Which is exactly what I would like to do with losing my virginity on August 15th. I need witnesses. I can't do it without your help. So there's a bunch of reasons why I would like to alter this memory. I'll give you my top two. So I lost my virginity on August 15th in a big old rush. That's 3 days before my 18th birthday. So it was very important to me. In 2010, I thought that if you did not fuck while you were legally a child, you should kill yourself. Hugging's for kids. We all know that kids should fuck, and if you lose your virginity when you're an adult, you're a fucking loser, and you shouldn't even bother. You should just walk into the ocean. So, I lost my virginity to my high school boyfriend, Steven, 3 days before, just slid right under the wire. So it didn't go super well for that reason. I crossed state lines. I flew from my home state of Massachusetts, last state where the female orgasm is still illegal. Flew to Annapolis, Maryland, where he was about to join the Navy forever. He's still in the Navy. And I fucked him. So it didn't go well. And the reason I felt like it was really important that I fucked while I was still a kid is because of like how if you were a virgin in 2010 like me, this was like the way that you saw virginity in TV and movies. It looked like this.
Hi. The important thing is, I'm here with you.
I might have such strong feelings about a boy that it might be hard for me to decide what's right to do.
You're about to get lucky. And I'm prepared to give myself to you.
A very precious gift.
You say this.
It's always been this summer. Partly because I think of you as that kind of girl or anything like that.
You're the best.
When have you ever gotten laid? I've laid lots of times.
Are you right? School's up. What's wrong with right now?
You wanna fuck me?
Go.
Me too.
You're a virgin. You don't want to, virgin.
And I did it. The big gift.
I had sex, but I'm not going to heart. Okay. You did it?
Virgin.
Carlton lost his virginity.
Okay, so it's just a wild sampling of various things you might see. That's how you would lose your virginity, ranging from getting married to literally removing someone's penis with your vagina teeth. So, that was why I wanted to fuck when I was a kid. The other, more pertinent reason that I'd like to alter the memory of losing my virginity is because I did not know, Jesus Christ, I did not know at the time, Barbara needs to relax. I did not know at the time that I had a pretty severe latex allergy. And a great way to find out that you're allergic to something is to shove it into your vagina over and over in a very high pressure circumstance and smile with your teeth clenched for what could only have been 2 minutes but felt like forever. This applies to all allergies. You can also apply this to grass, dogs, whatever. Great litmus test for being allergic to something. So I'll do a quick simulation of what it would feel like. So let's say I've got some fantasy condoms here. So say this is me, right? This is sex. And it's basically just filling your sweet little pussy with a bag of Flaming Hots and saying, this is good and I like it. This is sex and I will sex again. That's basically what it felt like for years, for the record. So that's the other reason I would like to... that's the reason I'd like to alter this. I do need your assistance. I've come prepared with no fewer than 8 different ways that we can revisit this memory, and hopefully by the end it'll be so altered that I will have conservatively won the sexual interaction, right? Because like sex, like relationships, there's one winner and one loser. Statistically, both people cannot enjoy themselves. So, I think we can get started. Actually, we should warm up. So if you could take out your guidebooks tonight, what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be taking you through the same memory over and over. I flew to Annapolis, Maryland, right? That's step 1. I'm taking my clothes up. We have to be okay. First I give myself a pep talk in the mirror, right? Then I fuck Steven, Barbara, played by Barbara. And then I go into my little bathtub in the hotel room and I write the saddest journal entry ever written. And that's exactly how the day went. I will need you to vocalize Steven tonight, so we'll do a quick drill. If you turn to the first page in your guidebook, you're going to be speaking what's in bold print, and every time I'm losing my virginity in the bedroom, you'll be Steven's voice. Does that work? All right, let's do a quick drill. I lost my virginity on August 15th, 2010.
In Annapolis, Maryland, in a cruddy hotel room, consensually, though whether it was an ill-advised decision remains up for debate.
Good job. The boy I lost my virginity to's name is Steven,
who we remain friends with.
Although the day we had sex, he was about to join the Navy, and we only had 20 minutes to consummate. Also, I did not know I had a latex allergy.
Whoa, gross.
Okay, do not allergy shame me.
I mean, it just sounds painful.
I mean, that's why I'm trying to erase the memory beneath.
Oh, haha. That is useful clarity to have going into the show.
Okay, fuck off.
Sorry. Looking forward to the show. You are very hot.
I know. In Alfred Molina's name we pray.
Amen.
Okay, give it up for yourself. You're doing it great. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys yell out random numbers throughout the night so that we can revisit this. But I'd be remiss if we didn't start at step 1, which is strictly just going through. There's nothing in here. Going through the memory exactly as I recall it. This is a completely cogent, accurate memory. So I'm going to take you through it now, and then we'll get to work. Here we go. Okay, Jamie, you've got this. You're not going to be an adult virgin. Why aren't you going to be an adult virgin? I'll tell you why. Because you're 100% convinced that every time you turn your back, everyone you've ever met in your life is fucking ferociously without protection. You know it's true. You went to that after party for drama club in Philip Lindy's basement after Hello Dolly, and that's not how virgins dance. You can do this. And even if you can't, you might as well, because you already spent all the money you have working at the skating rink part-time for a one-armed Zamboni driver who nicknamed himself One-Armed Steve to buy a plane ticket to go to Maryland to fuck exactly one time. Amazing use of resources, by the way. Okay, you can do this. Good luck. Okay. Okay, get your hymnals out. This is when we're going to be... Flip to the next page. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we don't have to, but I brought a...
Oh, good. I'll get it.
Are you okay?
Yes. We should kiss.
You know what? I'm going to take my clothes off.
Okay, I will too. What's on?
It's just... We're going missionary. Oh, good aim, Steven. Yeah, ow. Yeah, fine. This is really cool. Okay. Okay.
Love you, bye.
Okay, then we go to the next. Dear Journal, it's August 15th, 2010, and I feel like my pussy is on fucking fire. What's a penis supposed to feel like? JK, I know now. Anyway, Stephen left about a half hour ago, and I'm here for 72 more hours. Stephen's parents are in the room next door to us, and they think I suck because I'm going to an art school instead of marrying you. Although, honestly, sounds equally irresponsible. There's no food nearby, and the only room service food I can afford is fish. I'm terrified to talk to Stephen's parents, who probably heard my yelps at realizing a penis could feel like a train accident. Small death? This is a real excerpt. Small death? More like I think I have a UTI. Sitting in dirty bathwater will likely make worse. Now, a newly deflowered woman, I will order fish for one. And watch my favorite movie on cable, this is 2010, Final Destination 3. Love, Jamie. So that's exactly how it went. That's the first time. Okay, so we're gonna, you clap here, come on. So I think, so that's like the basis, that's a completely cogent, accurate memory, right? I do want to just consult a quick outside source before we move on. He should be here. How's everyone doing? Steven?
Hey!
Steven! It's Steven! Okay, this is the real Steven. Steven, tell everybody where you are.
I'm out in Hawaii right now. This is where I live, so, yeah.
He lives in Pearl Harbor because maybe. How's your night? Are you good?
I'm good, yeah.
Are you enjoying the show?
Yeah, hanging out, keeping the dog busy. And
What a cool guy. He is single. Steven,
very far away, sorry.
This isn't about you, though. Steven, I just wanted to fact check a couple things before we move forward. So I just did a pretty spot-on reenactment, I think. I think Barbara was very, very respectful in her portrayal of your missionary position. I just wanted to ask you, though, like, what, is there anything, like, what was your... Yeah, corn dog. How do you remember us losing our virginity? What's your, like, version of event?
No. I don't know. I feel like in my version, I did a lot better than what happened there.
I mean, like, how did the day go? I mean,
that was a funky day. Yeah. So I remember went out to breakfast that day with my parents, and it was real awkward.
Yeah.
And all that. Went back to the hotel room. I didn't know that they were in the room next door, actually, until you told me that. I had no idea. Close. I didn't know
that would explain the volume of you.
That
would explain the volume of you if you didn't know your parents were next door. That makes sense.
federal moments, yeah.
Yeah. And you were 18, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you were 18, but I was definitely 17.
Yes, you were.
I know. We're great friends. So do you have any other notes you'd like to give before I try again?
Yeah, I don't know, the noises, I don't remember making that much noise, but...
Well, that's up to them. They're right.
Gonna push it away. No, I know that one thing that I think we still debate is who brought the condom that we actually used. I don't know if you ever figured that out, because I think I brought it, because I don't remember you actually bringing one, but apparently you were planning for this for fucking months. I have no idea.
You just thought it was like, oh, what a cool day.
I thought you were there to see me because you enjoyed me, but
I was there to fuck you and then go home.
Booty call.
No, this is the ultimate booty call. A booty call that involves airfare. Someone should marry me.
For yourself, that's how big it was. Yeah.
It's okay, relax. Okay. Give it up for Steven. Do you mind like hanging out?
Like moving away?
No. That's the opposite of what I was asking. I said, do you want to hang out, like stay?
Hang out. I thought you said move out. I was like, yeah, no, I'm down. I'm hanging around.
Okay, Steven's gonna say, give it up for Steven. I think Steven gave us a lot to think about. Mostly that he was 18 and I was not. I'd like to take it again. I feel like I have a better idea of what went on. So act accordingly. This is we'll try it. We'll try it again. This is the second time. Okay, Jamie. This is it. You're not going to be an adult virgin like Steven. How embarrassing. You're going to be a bucking kid. You're going to be a kid who fucks. Apparently you and Steven have been hanging out all day and you left it to the last 20 minutes because you're a bad planner and you have undiagnosed social anxiety. Wait till 2014. But you can do this. You've got this. This is the right decision. And even if it's not the right decision, you already spent the $10 that one-armed Steve gave you on your last day of work and spent it on airport sushi. And Steven says he brought a condom that's going to feel 3 inches thick. But you've got this. What you don't know is that 6 months from now, you and Steven's mom are going to be watching a rerun of Law & Order SVU together, and in the first scene, there's gonna be a dead prostitute, and she's gonna point at the dead prostitute and say, "Hey, Jamie, it's you someday." And you're gonna say, "Nothing." I actually have a robe.
What?
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to, but someone, unclear whom, brought a...
Okay, I'll get it.
Well, I still would argue that I got it, but totally fine. Are you okay?
Yes, we should kiss.
I'm gonna take my clothes off.
Okay, I will too. Put a condom on.
Okay. So this has a condom, but Steven says he brought one, so... Let's just throw another one on. Wow, good aim, Steven. Yeah, ow.
Are you okay?
Yeah, fine. This is really cool. Okay.
Join the Navy.
Okay. Dear Stephen, wow, it's only been 2 hours since I gave you my greatest gift. Or what I'm told is my greatest gift, even though I'd argue I'm better at tap dancing. Thank you so much. Anyways, I'm sorry if my gift smelled weird, but yours did too. I think we can both agree that rubbing our gifts together was the worst smell of all. It's only been 2 hours, so I hope it doesn't make me too clingy that I'm already writing you a postcard in a very dramatic bath I've drawn for myself while crying profusely and listening to the hit of 2010, OMG by Usher. If it does make me clingy, get used to it. This will be just about what the rest of the relationship will be like. Stephen, I wonder if things will be different now. I mean, before today, I'd never had sex or made eye contact with the mother of the person I had sex with in the lobby on accident. Or accidentally dropped a room service fish sandwich into an already dirty bathroom. I hope the military is chill, but as I've alluded to several times and will continue to, I think the military is corrupt as fuck and discriminatory and guns are scary. Regards, Jamie. How was that? Was that good? Was that good, Stephen?
Yeah.
Okay. Someone yell out a number. Let's try another one. 4. 6. Someone said 6. 6. Someone said 6. There's actually one. This is okay. So this one is good. This one's good. This one, we're going to consult my family on this one. So my family, if you don't know them, congratulations. They are the worst. They're very bad. We're very close. All three of my mom, my dad, and my brother were all very aware that I was leaving the state to lose my virginity. It was basically a plan that we made together. Stephen was the last to know. Every blood relative knew. So what we did, and so when I told them I was doing this experiment, they wanted to contribute, and they truly did insist on making a 6-minute video to send and show you to give their perspective, because I cannot speak for them because they're right and I'm wrong. So I would just like to really quickly show you what my family has to say.
To get better perspective on losing my virginity on August 15th, 2010, I had to speak to the 3 people who had been actively preventing me from losing my virginity sooner, my family.
Hi.
Do I look right at the camera?
We're good.
There was one thing everyone could agree on about my virginity.
When do you think Jamie lost her virginity?
Based on all the signs that were present at the time, I would say it was like within a week of her 18th birthday.
I know. She lost it on August 15th, 2010.
She wanted to lose her virginity and I was on to her and I was making sure that that wasn't gonna happen.
And all the posters.
It happened on this couch, I believe.
But the rest of the interview footage provided more questions than answers. My brother spoke with my mom first.
I'm Jill. I am a Scorpio, but on the cusp of Sagittarius, so I always believed that in the...
Well, some of her input was helpful.
Talk about buying Jamie a plane ticket to lose her virginity. What did you think you were doing?
Buying her a plane ticket to lose her virginity.
Were you ever attracted to Steven?
Not in the cougar sense.
Almost everything else she says in the interview is inaccurate, a fact my brother brings up repeatedly.
In regards to something Mom said, I don't believe that that is true.
I was in the kitchen here, and I called Steven into the kitchen and I had him for a second alone. And I said, sweetheart, I know you don't have much money and I don't want to embarrass you. But if you should decide to
fuck my kid
in Annapolis, I'll happily buy the condoms for you.
I don't believe that that ever took place. I believe that was a fabrication, she said.
And you know what? His eyes kind of filled up with embarrassment, shock, and gratitude, because he looked at me and he said, oh my God, thank you, Jill. I can never talk to my mom the way I can talk to you.
I don't feel as though that's something that had happened.
This, unfortunately, was not made up.
Talk about buying Jamie condoms to lose her virginity.
You know what? That's an awesome memory. I got Jamie's Auntie Karen and her big sister Lauren and said, come on ladies, we're taking Jamie to CVS in Marshfield and we're buying her some condoms because I want her to be safe and healthy and not doing the grandmother thing right now.
She also had difficulty answering questions without changing the subject to herself.
I was 16 junior year. See, this interview is so easy for me. I gave Jamie the talk in the Dunkin' Donuts parking lot. I don't want a second husband, ever.
Did you lose your virginity to Dad?
I did not.
Don't you think that's
Dad's best friend? I wouldn't have met Dad had I not been
fucking his friend. The interview continued this way for a long time, and my brother eventually gave up and showed my mom a slideshow I'd made of every man I've ever had sex with, on the condition she would not say any of their names aloud.
I love Andrew too. Look at how young she looks.
You already broke the rule of not saying any names.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I just love Steven. He looks like, what's his name from 2.5 Men? It's just like another, I don't know, friend? Seems like a great friend.
My mom concluded the interview by making the strange claim that she thought no one who had ever had sex with me remembered it.
I don't think some of her partners remembered the experience. In the way that I don't know if they were with it.
I'd forgotten one thing when interviewing my mother. She's extremely sick in the head. But surely there was some wisdom to be gleaned from my dad.
My name is Mike Loftus. It takes a lot to visibly shock this guy.
How old were you when you had sex for the first time?
Like, intercourse sex?
Only to discover I'm not convinced my dad's ever had sex at all.
Children shouldn't lose their virginity. There are like ages of consent. I think that they should probably be followed. Could I have that question again, please?
And in the end, most of his insights had to do with speculating on how his children could have masturbated in a house with no doors.
You know, it wasn't like foremost in my mind, like, you know, do they have enough opportunities to jerk off? I hope so. I think it's not as big of a hurdle as you might think, because I'm not here a lot. So it's easy enough, you know. And there are doors in the bathrooms.
Well, how do you jerk in the house if it has no doors?
Well, you know, again, I got endless opportunities and venues.
Unfortunately, my dad had done very little to provide insight into me losing my virginity.
What, Jamie gonna lose her virginity again?
And so it came down to my little brother.
My name is Ben Loftus.
Who, when he wasn't busy being baffled at his family's thinking he was still a virgin,
I'm a little surprised that my family is so shocked that I lost my virginity.
brought up a helpful anecdote I hadn't thought about in some time.
I have a specific role in the story that is Jamie losing her virginity.
Unlike this would lead you to believe, I did not fuck my brother.
It was just like any night. I was upstairs in my room watching porn maybe, but this night I remember was a little different because Steven was leaving for I believe basic training the next day. My mom had asked me not to go downstairs. I decided to go downstairs to get myself a root beer. There were clothes on the ground. Clothes aren't usually on the ground there, but you know, I'm thirsty. Until I realized what was happening and sort of hurriedly went back upstairs without a root beer. I never got the root beer.
I lied to and blackmailed the person closest to me.
Jamie texted me about 20 minutes later in all caps saying I didn't do anything. That seemed wrong based on what I had seen. And I had said, I'm telling Mom. And Jamie was like, no, don't tell on me. Don't do it. Don't do it. Mom told me that it was nothing to worry about and that Jamie and Steven were just practicing for a very special moment.
As I said previously, she's extremely sick in the head. Sick in the head.
Okay, that's family. The horniest woman alive. So I think with that in mind, we can move forward and take another look. So let's try this again. Lots of food for thought. Okay, Jamie, you've got this. You're not going to be an adult virgin. Mommy didn't raise no adult virgin. Mommy raised a horny little fuck pig who drains the family funds to get dick. Apparently you and Steven have been hanging out all day. You let us down to the last minute. You're a bad planner like your father, but not important. Your mom took you on a weird, long CVS sex errand. Someone who she said was your big sister Lauren, but you don't have a big sister. But maybe you do. You've got this. You can do this. And even if you don't want, you should do it anyways, because otherwise your little brother looked at Steven's turgid, throbbing, naked penis for nothing. So you're gonna go in there and you're gonna fuck that man for your little brother. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to, but my mom purchased us 45. Okay. Really quick though, is there any chance that you possibly hung out with my mom at some point and told her she was like an awesome mom and that she should buy us condoms? Because I heard that might have happened and I was bothered by it. Never mind. Okay, are you okay?
Yes, yes.
I mean, but who are you thinking about when you're kissing me is the question, because it seems like you're hanging out with my mom a lot. I'm going to take my clothes off.
Okay, I will too. Put the condom on.
Yeah, but whose condom, you know? I just am concerned you're thinking about fucking my mom. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to just don't. And, wow, good aim, Steven.
Is it?
Yeah, ow.
Are you okay?
No, okay. I do have another question, which is that why would you ask her to pay for your condom and then say, also, you're a better mom than my mom? I think you want to fuck my mom. Okay, that's fine. This is fine. Are you okay? Yeah. Oh, I did. Okay, start sex grunting now. Look at you! Mother! This is cool! Thinking about whom, though? Okay. Okay. Hi, Mom, it's Jamie. I just wanted to check in and say I fucked like you asked me to. I'm riding in from the bathtub. I did it. Should having sex feel like shoving a bag of Flaming Hots into your vagina and gritting your teeth through the experience? If so, wow, that was hot. After much consideration, I've decided I don't believe you and Stephen have ever had a conversation alone. He's too fragile and it would take him weeks of bed rest to recover from your horny wrath. I hope you keep this from Dad, but to be safe, because I'm a 17-year-old piece of shit, I'm gonna blackmail you. I know that you said when you were taking a personal week last month, you actually flew to San Diego to try to fuck Dad's best friend from high school. And when he rejected you, you took it in stride and blew the pilot who had flown the United flight there. I'm not judging you, Mom. That's pretty sick. I respect you, but also fuck you. And if you tell anyone, I'll leak your shit just like Edward Snowden will leak shit in the future is 2010. Also, thank you for springing for the extra legroom on JetBlue. I know our relationship has been fraught because I truly think you are crazy. Not in the mental health stigma way, but in the way of like the kind of character in a movie who tells them not to go into the cabin. Truly, I and everyone you've ever met worry about you. Fuck off, Jamie. Okay, that's that one. Right. Okay. 7. Has anyone ever seen a one-woman show? This is a one-woman science experiment. It's different. Clap if you've seen a one-woman show. Okay. I was not familiar with them prior to doing my one-woman science experiment, but they're really bad. They're not good. One-woman shows take place when a lady gets too fucked up at a paint night and becomes possessed by the spirit of thinking she's interesting. And then forces people to watch her talk for an hour. Again, this is a science experiment. It's very different. But I went down this YouTube hole. I found all these one-woman shows, and I'd like to show you sort of some of my favorites.
It starts from a very strong feeling in me.
The word artist.
You really have something to share.
Carries with it so much baggage.
Hi, I'm Heather, and I am a recovered rehab junkie.
Dare I choose to think of myself as an artist?
And I remember, and I felt like my bigger breasts, and I remember.
Dang it, I'm 36 years old and I'm smart.
I've made 5 of my own CDs.
For me?
Oh my God, I don't know about, hold me, I'm scared.
If things are funny, people are much more willing to listen.
Soylent Green is made out of people.
How am I gonna put jazz credentials into a resume?
I found some things that help me. And one of them is improvisational comedy.
You filthy whores! You cock teasers!
It's often pre-verbal.
I work with a lot of leather and I carve bone.
And for me, and I remember, but I'm usually pretty thin, I lost 15 pounds. I blow dry it straight so it looks like this.
So when are you allowed to call yourself an artist? Am I a real part of society?
And I remember all A's. Okay, so people have paid me compliments on my physical beauty. I don't need to accomplish anything or do anything.
You're an artist when you decide you are.
That's the not so sad truth.
I did some growing up. I shed my dire straits. I relocated to Toluca Lake, And,
So if you really knew me, you would know. I choose it now.
Oh yeah, we are back!
And in that spirit, I've written a poem for my baby. What will you look like, baby?
And what will you be like, baby? What will it be like to be your mom, baby? Beautiful for you, baby.
I will open my arms and say, hello, love. Welcome home. Who am I to think I can raise a child?
Maybe I should go to grad school.
Business school is a really great option.
Okay, so that's a one-woman show. I think that I feel the memory changing a little bit. Let's try to add some of these tactics. Let's try this. Okay. August 15th, 2010. The Obama administration. The first Obama administration. We were all so young. I packed in my bags nothing except a box of my horny guilt condoms my mom bought me and a horny youthful dream. Okay. First, I'd like to read a poem for my virginity. Virginity, what will it feel like to lose you? And what will it sound like to lose you? Will it sound like a wet slap? Or will it sound like a wet slap covered in mayonnaise? Virginity, do you resent me for being a woman, or furthermore being a woman artist? Virginity, I can't wait to welcome in your hairy, stinky little nightmare and say, wow, a vagina feels like a train accident with no survivors, lit on kerosene and thrown into the river to avoid evidence. Okay, let's try. Take out your hymnals, please. Oh, the Baroque music. I'm sorry, I forgot the Baroque music. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
I mean, we don't have to, but I've brought many. Okay. Wait, freeze! What's going on here? I thought I was going to lose my virginity in the traditional way, which for me is being in the downstairs living room of my parents' house with Family Guy on mute, being finger-clawed within an inch of my puppy life, until my little brother gets thirsty for root beer, comes downstairs, the three of us make eye contact, and we all come at once. Clearly, Stephen has other plans. Unfreeze. Are you okay?
Yes, we need this.
Freeze! What a nice guy. Unfreeze. I'm gonna take my clothes off.
Okay, I love you. Put the condom on.
Okay. Okay. Wow, good aim, Stephen. Freeze! Hard to know. Unfreeze. Yeah, ow. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Okay. 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 Time. It's coming for all of us. When I first lost my virginity, I thought Have I truly become a woman now? Unclear. I'd like to read a poem to what remains of this meat penis. What remains of this meat penis? What do you dream about at night? Do you dream about your brothers you left behind at 99 cents only? Or do you dream about the day you'll once be flung into an audience, much to their dismay? Meat penis, I just ate most of. I hope you resent me for being a woman artist. Meat penis, I hope to soak with you in this bathtub for many a year, listening to OMG by Usher until one of us passes out unconscious. Okay, that's that one. Let's someone throw out another one. Four? Did someone say four? Four. I don't want to do four. What's the next one? Five. Right. Well, not the next one sequentially. Three. Good job, everybody. Good job. What comes after four? Okay, this one's cool. This one's one of my favorites. I am slowly forgetting both what happened that day and my name, so I feel like we're doing very well. So this one, we're going to bring in a couple of guest stars. So I thought it might be kind of fun to just remove myself from the equation entirely. So I did ask for two of my favorite actors to participate in this today. They were unresponsive entirely. But I managed to work around. My two favorite actors are Alfred Molina and Haley Joel Osment. Maybe you've heard of them, idiot. So I figured, it'd be like kind of nice to just like let them have the experience of fucking me, right? So I would like to play. Steven, are you still there? Steven?
Hey. Hello?
Hey, do you know that I have? Do you want to be Alfred Molina or Haley Joel Osment?
I know Alfred Molina is your favorite, but he's much better. So if possible, love to be him.
Okay, you're Alfred Molina, and what is wrong with Haley Joel Osment to you, you stupid bitch?
Say it.
What's wrong with him? Say it. What's wrong with him?
Can't even name a movie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you never seen Secondhand Lion? I'm gonna be Alfred Molina, star of the stage and screen. You're gonna be Haley Joel Osment, star of the movie Sex Ed. A movie that came. I'm extremely hot and should get more work. Anyway, I'd be remiss if I didn't go into this experience as an actor without saying how excited I am to be working with the original god, Haley Joel Osment. I've been with him for a long time. I'm very into his work. He's basically, I honestly, I don't want to wear a condom. I don't. My name's Alfred Molina. I don't want to wear a condom in the sex scene with Haley Joel Osment, a person who has been alive for less years than I've been married happily. My name is Alfred Molina, and boy do I hope that Haley Joel Osment lets me have sex with him without a condom. All right, let's get into the scene, if we can. Hi, Haley Joel Osment. It's me, Alfred Molina. Oh. Hi, I'm Haley Joel Osment. Awesome. Haley, I've been a fan of your work for so long, and I'm talking pre-Forrest Gump, pre-Sixth Sense. I watched your 1994 commercial for the Pizza Hut, and I loved it.
I really enjoyed your work in Chocolat. Please fuck me.
Haley, first of all, it is chocolat. Second of all, it would be my pleasure to fuck you. All right, thank you. Give it up for Gabby. whatever you want. Haley, I have to say, I loved Secondhand Lions. Loved it. I loved it. It's my favorite film. Haley, I'm just gonna flip you over really quick, just to let you know that your appearance on Teachers last season was a fucking delight. Haley, I have a question for you. Did you know that at the Golden Globes this year, I was snubbed? I was fucking snubbed for Fuse. People were outraged. I was up, but I'm a good-natured guy. Please go a little harder. Thank you so much. Haley, listen, I know that you said at the airport a couple weeks ago, I know that you said, I'm just going to crush your penis really quick. I know that you went to the airport and said, don't you know who I am? And no one did. But I just want to say that's fucking, oh, you came. You came. Someone not knowing who you were at the airport made you come. Give it up for Haley Joel Osment, guys. Guys, this is me, Alfred Molina again. I just want Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't say what a fucking pleasure it was working with the one and only Haley Joel Osment. And in case you didn't notice, we did not use protection on the set of that movie. Which is wild because it was a 45-person crew. But we were all 45 of us were just feeling it, you know? And we didn't, they were like, you know what, Alfred? Just fuck him. And so, thanks so much. My name's Alfred Molina. All right. Someone throws them out. Someone's at 5. They're wrong. Okay. Confidence. Okay, confidence. This one is fun. So there was a chance that I could have lost my virginity sooner. I could have lost my virginity in 2008 to a guy named Andrew Studensky who played the saxophone and dumped me also for the saxophone. Very nice guy, just kidding, he dumped me for the saxophone. But it was, I could have lost my virginity a lot sooner. I do think that I would have still had sex with Steven on that day, but I would have been a lot more confident. Thus, my fun costume change. So, I think that if I had fucked before, it would look something like this. This would be like my like confident version. Ready? All right. Okay. I've fucked before, and this is cool. All right. He said the plot. What's up, man? It's just another day for you, you dirty little fuck pig. You love this. You love sex, and you're good at it, and it feels good. Don't bother using this guy. What's up, bitch? Just another fucking day for me! Is anyone injured? I think we're pretty close. We've got one left. It's number 5. I can't remember anything anymore. Okay. Number 5 is the hero's journey. Is everyone familiar with the power of myth with Joseph Campbell. Oh, I'm sorry, did you not come here to learn about PBS specials from the late 80s? Okay, Joseph Campbell's The Power of Myth. It's a thing that exists. If we go to the next slide, you learn about the hero's journey. Every big story has a hero's journey in which a bunch of shit happens and then they win or lose. It's very exciting. You have it listed in your guidebook. You can flip forward, and I think I feel close. So I think I need one more before my memory is totally obliterated. So I'm just going to have you yell out the phases of the hero's journey to me one by one. I'll cue you to let you know, and we'll see how it goes. Stephen is eating tuna, baby? Unclear. Okay, so we're going to go through this one more time. Hero's journey. Let's get started. Give me the first phase.
The ordinary world.
I've never fucked in my life. Next one.
The call to adventure.
I would like to fuck soon. Next one.
Refusal.
No! Next one. Hello? It's my mommy. She says, fuck hard and soon. Next one.
Crossing the threshold.
What?
Crossing the threshold.
Oh, okay. Okay, next one.
Allies, enemies.
Oh, this is a good one. Okay. Hi, Stephen. Count me down from 3.
3, 2, 1.
Next one.
Approach.
Next one.
Ordeal.
Next one.
Reward.
Next one.
Road back.
Next one.
Atonement.
I did it. I lost my virginity. I got the cum. I don't know where I am or who I'm talking to. Steven's leaving. Next one.
Return.
Return. We're done. We did it. I won my virginity back. Steven, do you have anything to say to people before they go?
Hey, I hope you guys had a good night.